Welcome to Biology about organs and organ systems. We have learned so far that living things are also called organisms. In this case, we see a beautiful little human, a living human in this case, which is also an organism. Organisms are built out of lots and lots of cells. We also have simple organisms, but for this example, we have a big organism, which is built out of lots and lots of cells. A different example would be a plant. It has different cells, but it's also built out of cells. Now, this would be a section of a piece of skin. For example, your arm. You see, the top row would be a skin layer. It has many layers of cells, and in reality it has much more cells. But because I don't want to spend my whole day making little squares, I just drew a few. So on top we have a skin layer, followed by muscle cells, the muscle, and beneath we have the bone and their bone cells. Each one of these squares, or what I've circled here, elongated cells, each one of these is a cell. Now, a bunch of these cells together, having the same function and the same appearance, is called a tissue. And the whole cells in a bunch is called an organ. There are many examples of organs. For example, bones, or as we just saw, skin, stomach, and the brain, and many more. The definition we maintain for an organ is a part which has one or more functions. An organ system are a bunch of organs working together for one function. We'll be discussing these organ systems a little more elaborately now. The first one would be the digestive system. When you eat something, it has to be broken down into little pieces, which we call nutrients, for you to be able to use the food. So the first organ in the digestive system is the mouth. It bites food into smaller pieces, making it easy to digest. Your mouth swallows it and passes the food along to your esophagus or gullet. The gullet pushes down the food into your stomach. The stomach will churn and knead the food, spreading acid all over it so it gets dissolved. From your stomach it will pass into the small intestine, and the liver and the pancreas will add some juices. In the small intestine, it's long and it has a smaller diameter than the large intestine, but in the small intestine the food is actually absorbed. Then finally it enters into the large intestine. Here most of the liquids are reabsorbed to minimize the water loss from your body. And finally, this little black dot at the end, it would be your anus. Here your food eventually will be excreted. This in the form of feces. The skeletal system is a collection of bones. The function of these bones is giving us structure. Without these bones, we would be like a sad little puddle on the ground. Some of these bones also have different functions, for example, protecting certain fragile tissues. But the whole skeletal system in its whole is giving us structure. The muscular system. The muscular system allows us to move. For example, if you contract your biceps, your arm will move away from you. If you contract your triceps, your arm will move towards you. We also have eyelids. There are small muscles on top of your eyes, and if you contract them, your eye will open or it will close. We have many more muscles. For example, if you laugh or frown, you will use many muscles in your face. We have muscles which contract and relax automatically or do this willingly. For example, you can blink consciously, but if you weren't to think about it, it would also happen automatically, without even thinking about it. Now, our circulator system, as the word says, circle, goes round and round. It concerns our blood system. We know blood, if we have a little wound, we'll get some red drops of blood. But in general, our blood is supposed to be on the inside of our body. Our heart, which is a special muscle, most certainly belongs to the circulator system, even though it is a muscle. It is the most important part of your circulator system. It will pump and it will push blood towards the rest of your body, in this case to your foot. And since it's a circulator system, the blood has also returned to your heart. Once it has returned, it can be pumped towards other parts again. For instance, your head, because we need some blood in those brains, don't we? The blood in your head will also be returned back to your heart. And that's how we make the circle round. Thus the word circulator system. Now, as you can notice, I drew red and blue lines. In this blood, oxygen is carried around. For instance, if you would tie off your hand, I've seen lots of kids do it with tape or whatever. If you tie off your hand, your blood flow towards your hands will be restricted. No oxygen will reach your hand. If you wouldn't remove the tie, eventually your hand would die off. Because all cells need oxygen. So let's keep that blood flowing, shall we? The respiratory system is breathing in and breathing out. That's how we get oxygen into our blood, into our body in the first place. Breathing in will give us oxygen. Breathing out, the oxygen which has been used up will be transformed into carbon dioxide, and which we breathe out back into the air. So we breathe in, the air flows down into our windpipe, through our nostrils or through our mouth, into our lungs through the bronchies. Our nervous system allows for many things. First of all, our nervous system allows us to use our senses. This could be hearing, smelling, seeing, tasting, also feeling. If you would have a little wound on your hand, it mostly hurts. These are your nerves from your nervous system are telling you that there's a pain. But since also our brain belongs to our nervous system, it also allows for thought. Our nervous system consists of a very important organ, the brain, the spinal cord running through our spine, and all the nerves coming from your spinal cord all the way to the rest of your body. Now, for instance, our little man here has an accident and his spinal cord is damaged in one of the lower vertebrae. His spinal cord is interrupted and it is damaged in a way that his nerves cannot sense or move anything anymore. Since our little man is very unfortunate, he has another accident. His spinal cord is damaged a little up higher. Now from his diaphragm he cannot feel or move anything anymore. And let's say fortune is not on his side. And now from the neck down he cannot feel or move anything anymore. His spinal cord is interrupted, so no more transmissions are made between the nerves and the brain below the fraction line. Now, an interesting question for you guys is, his nerves might have been interrupted in the spinal cord, but will all the organs below the line stop? Note, he cannot feel or move anything anymore underneath the fraction line, but will the other organs, which are underneath the neckline, will they also stop working? Now, after this video and combined with my lessons, I hope you can give definitions of organs and organ systems. I hope you can name all the 6 organ systems and what their function is, and the most important organs within the organ systems. In another video, I'll elaborate on all the organs and the organ systems because they are important to know. But more on this other video, we'll also focus on how the words sound, are written, and what they actually mean. Because this paragraph is full of very, very hard words. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll watch my next video.